Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is my labor and delivery story, and I finally got around to it after 3 weeks. Alright, let's get started. Some of the information may be confusing, some of it may be you may not understand, so bear with me. And I'm going to do this quickly as I can, because I just recorded it a little bit ago, edited it, and apparently uploaded it, and only 22 seconds of it uploaded it. And my computer decided to delete the footage. So, I have to re-record and re-edit. But, let's get started. So, on Saturday, the, I think 6th of January 2017, not 17, 18, my bad. Around 7:30 at night, I was eating some chips and stuff, and I started, and I was wearing a pad because I was in my 3rd trimester, and I was starting to like pee when I sneeze and do, certain things, and I didn't want to pee through my clothes. So I was wearing a pad. And I started to feel leakage. And I didn't know if it was urine or amniotic fluid, which amniotic fluid is from the sac of the pregnancy, which comes out when your water breaks. I didn't know which one it was, and I was freaking out. Thinking I peed. So I get up and go to the bathroom. And as I'm walking, it's coming out of my, body. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought maybe because I'm pregnant, I'm peeing a lot. Well, it kept going on for hours and hours of the night. Finally, it got to be around 8 o'clock, a little while longer, and I was going to go to bed, so I was getting ready for bed. And I took that pad off, and I put it in a bag just in case anything, and it kept on going for days, and that I needed to bring that into the hospital so they could do testing and see if it's pee or amniotic fluid. So I put another pad on, and I get up, and it just keeps coming. And I go lay in bed for a little bit, and I just feel it coming. So I get up, and I start freaking out that something is horribly wrong and my water broke. So I go and put that in the bag of the other one, and I put another one on. And I just started freaking out because it can continue and continue. So I called an on-call nurse. They told me to go to the hospital, but before to go to the hospital, to call my OB/GYN. Well, they're not open then, so they have an on-call nurse. So I call. My on-call nurse wants me to go into the hospital to get checked. So I call my grandma. I had to call her at least 30 times before she answered, which turned out I didn't go till the next day to the hospital in the morning till like 1 o'clock, which was the 7th on Sunday of January. So I go and I bring those in, and I go into triage in the labor and delivery department, and they are going to test to see if it's urine or amniotic fluid. So she wants me to go in the bathroom and do a urine test in the cup, So I do. And I get up and not my water hasn't broken, but leakage all over the floor. And I start freaking out. So she comes in and she puts me on the monitors to monitor my contractions. I'm having contractions and I wasn't, and the baby's heartbeat. And they do the test, which they put like a little swab in your vagina. And it takes 30 minutes, but they didn't come back to 45 minutes and tell us what it was. So in the meantime, the doctor comes in and does an ultrasound to see if the baby's still breached. And yeah, he's still breached. So we wait, and I'm leaking fluid, so they have this like pad-like thing down on the bed so you don't leak on your blankets or on your like bed. And she comes in 30 minutes, 45 minutes later and like, yep, positive for amniotic fluids. Doesn't mean your water broke, but it's amniotic fluids. So I had to be admitted. So I get admitted, and before I can go up to like FBC where I was staying, those other times I did videos, I had to go down to the labor and delivery just to make sure I wasn't gonna have the baby that night. And so I go down there, and they had to do an IV, blood work, and because they had to start the fluids that they did before, like to help you have no contractions. And the doctor comes before I go down there. When I was in triage, the doctor comes in there and says, "Oh, we're gonna have to go do steroid shots and magnesium." And I looked at him and I was like, "I already did all that. I had 4 shots of steroids." They go check it and they're like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. You don't need that." So they just do the fluid to help you stop having contractions. And I go down there and they're like, "We're gonna have to do a culture swab in your butt and in your vagina, TMI, to see if you have bacteria. Just in case if you do, we have to give you antibiotics so that because it can be harmful to the baby." So they do, and the one in my butt hurt like a mother effing. It hurt so bad. Yes, I did. I have a little, so they had to give me antibiotics. So then I go to sleep. They're like, "Let's sleep. Let's go through the night." I got through the night. Monday the 8th came, and I got moved up to FBC. Everything was going good. No contractions. Still leaking like crazy. Um, and then the 9th, Tuesday the 9th, when my son was born, I woke up that morning because they had to put me on the monitors, excuse me, and give me my iron and my prenatal. Then I went back to sleep. I slept all day. I just didn't feel right when I woke up that morning, and I did not eat at all. I just didn't feel right. So I go back to sleep. I wake up around 6 o'clock. Stephen did not come back because the day before, just, I don't remember what happened, but he left. So he didn't come back, and I woke up and I just didn't feel right. I got up to go to the bathroom, and the baby my stomach looked like it had dropped, like he had dropped. And usually that means when the baby drops, you're gonna go into labor soon, or you're gonna have them. It looked like my stomach had dropped, and I was like, "This doesn't look like this yesterday. What the heck? Something looks wrong." So I didn't think much of it, but I did have it in the back of my mind that maybe I'm going into labor. Steven's being annoying in the background. So I go lay back in bed, and like 15 minutes later, my back starts to hurt. I have a lower, sharp back pain, and I was like crying my eyes out. The nurse comes in there and goes, "Why are you crying?" I hate her. She was rude and disrespectful and mean. She is the worst nurse you can ever have. I did not like her. And I said, "I have a really bad, sharp pain in my back." And she's like, "Get up and walk around. You've been sleeping all day. That's probably why your back hurts. And you haven't gotten up all day." So I get up and I walk from the window to the door and do that twice. And I walk in the bathroom a couple times, go lay back in bed. About 15 minutes later after that, it got worse, the pain in my back. And then I started feeling sharp pain in my stomach. And I called the nurse and I said, "I'm feeling it worse in my back and in my stomach." So she's all, "Let's put you on the monitors." She puts me on the monitors. And about 5-10 minutes later, after she puts me on the monitors, goes out of the room, and they can see from where they're at their desk if you're going what's going on with the monitors. Comes back in, and she's like, "Are you feeling those contractions?" Hell yes, I was feeling those contractions. And yes, you guys know from previous videos, as I told you, previous times, I didn't feel the contractions I was having previous times. Oh no, I did not. These contractions I felt, and they were every 5 minutes. They were painful as hell. So she's like, "Okay, we're going to call the doctor." They got worse and worse. And I just could not bear with the pain anymore. So they had to rush me down to labor and delivery. So I get down to labor and delivery. And just be aware that from 6 o'clock, I had the baby at 8:30, and this all happened at 6:15. So this all happened within a 2-hour period of time frame. Yeah. Crazy, right? Uh-huh. So I get down to labor and delivery. And they tell them, "Oh, she's having contractions and she can feel them." And so they wanted to put me on the monitors to monitor them so that they could start monitoring my labor because I was definitely in labor. And I didn't let them. I was screaming my head off the contractions were so bad. And before a little before that, when I was having the really bad back pain, I texted Steven and his mom and my mom to let them know. I was like, I think I'm going into labor. And none of them believed me. Screw them right now, because that day I said screw them because I was in labor and they needed to believe me. I called my grandma and she's like, yeah, you're not in labor. I was like, if you're going into labor, have the nurses call me. Steven's pissing me off. Anyways, so I get down there, as I was down there, and at the contractions were getting worse and worse. And they were gonna have to put stuff in my IV, like give me IV fluid stuff. But you guys know that, as I was telling you, my IVs, like my blood likes to clot. So my IV was starting my vein was starting to puff up, and my IV wasn't working, and it started to burn really bad, and the nurse didn't believe me, as I was having painful contractions and pain in my back. And so they had to call the anesthesiologist, and let me put it this way: the anesthesiologist that was my anesthesiologist that did my spinal whatever, I cannot thank her so much. She was the best person. You know how I know I was freaking out about my C-section. I didn't want it. I was so scared. I was freaking out. I was going insane because I did not want it. I was scared as hell for it because it's major surgery. She got me through it, and I would have never gotten through my C-section without her. So I thank her. So she comes and redoes my IV, and then I a little bit later started feeling like I had to pee really, really bad. I mean, poop really, really bad, and I needed the urge to push. So I told my nurse, I was screaming, cussing, yelling, I need to push, I need to poop, I need to push, I need to poop, poop, poop. Said, no, 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 because if you do that, you're going to push out, because it's not that, it's the baby, basically. And you don't want that because he's breached. So I, So they had to call the doctor. The doctor comes in and is like, we got to check your cervix. So she puts her fingers in there, how they check your cervix. And she's like, I feel a head. And I was like, what do you mean a head? I'm breached. Baby's breached. And she also feels 4 centimeters dilated. So they do a quick ultrasound to see if it was a head or a butt. It was a butt. Basically, the baby's butt was almost ready to come out. So they had to do an emergency C-section. So when they were about to take me over to the C-section room, they're like, let's call her grandma, because she was my emergency contact person. So they go and call her. I go in there and get set up for it. And the anesthesiologist was like, we're going to be giving you a spinal. So they give me a spinal, and let me put it this way. You guys know I freaked out about my IVs, my blood work, those. I hate needles. I am a phobia about it. Oh, I freaking cry and scream before I get on my freak out shots, everything like that. Oh, hell no, I did not for that. I was still in so much pain, screaming and yelling because of my contractions. Nobody there, not even my boyfriend there, Steven there, to see the birth of his child. Because he didn't believe me like a little bitch he is. Excuse my language. And TMI. Not TMI, why did I say that? Before I get to finish what I was saying. He didn't believe me, and his mom and him thought, you're only just saying you're going into labor because you want Steven to come back. And that isn't going to get you to get Steven to come back there. Well, guess what? I did went into labor, and it was actually happening, and I was right. Anyways, so I was in the surgery room. They gave me the spinal. The anesthesiologist did, and TMI, she was the best. I wouldn't have gotten through my C-section without her. And she gave it to me. It didn't even hurt. I mean, I thought it was gonna freaking hurt. The worst of everything I've had. No, it didn't hurt. So I was numb from my body down, my boobs to my toes. My grandma finally gets there within 10 minutes of they calling them. She rushed over there. She called Steven's mom, and Steven and him were on their way. No, he unfortunately did not make it for the birth. But anyways, so I had her come in, and during the C-section, you don't feel it, but all you feel is tugging and pulling Basically, a lot of tugging and a lot of pulling. And I told my grandma, look up at the ceiling. Look up at the. Oh, while the numbing medicine was working in it worked within 5 minutes, and my contractions were gone. I didn't feel them. Thank God I got that because I was in so much pain, yelling my head off and cussing. um, but I felt like I was gonna throw up, but I didn't. Anyways, so I told my girl, look up at the ceiling because there was like this light thing and you could see it. I was like, look, you can see them cutting my stomach open. She's like, no. We look and there they are, and I'm seeing them cut me open. Like, come on. Um, and baby came out. They said he peed all over me. Um, Gross, and I didn't feel it because I was numb. But he didn't cry, and I asked them, "Is he dead?" And they're like, "No." They had to rush him to the NICU. The NICU. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. And I had to get stoned up and everything, and I had to go in this room to recover for an hour before I could go see baby. Steven finally showed up. They gave us both bracelets. This one for us, so you have to have these bracelets to get into the NICU. If you don't have one of these, you cannot get in. If your visitors want to come with you, you have to have this for your visitor. So they gave me one, they gave Steven one. While I was recovering, I told Steven to go with the doctor to go see the baby, so he did, and he took his mom. And then they went to get food, and then he came back that night. I'll explain everything later, because I have more to get to. So I'm in the room recovering, and they had to come every 15 minutes and push on my stomach to feel my uterus and stuff. It hurt so bad. I was like, grab their hands and say, no, don't, and scream. It hurt so bad. No, I could not eat for 24 hours. And after I got my surgery, I woke up and I was feeling so drowsy. I didn't actually go to sleep. Like, I felt like I fell asleep because I did fall asleep for a little bit because they gave me some anxiety medication to help. I felt so drowsy. So while I was recovering, I was like, I need something to drink because I was so thirsty. Thank God I didn't eat that whole day. Thank God, because I didn't. So I could only suck on ice chips. Really? So after I recovered, blah 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 blah, I got to go down to the NICU to go see my son. And my grandma goes with me. And let me put it this way: when you enter the NICU, there is a scrubbing sink. You have to scrub your hands with a scrubbing brush for 3 minutes. You cannot enter the NICU without washing your hands. I do it, and look at this. Dry skin peeling. It's really bad. It hurts so bad. And I was in the bed because, I'm so numb, and I was numb for like 7, 8 hours. And I get I wash my hands. I get to go visit him for like 5, 10 minutes. And then I go up to mother baby care where I was staying, where you go after you have a baby. And I just hurt. I was in so much pain. And let me put it this way. I went to visit baby every day there in pain, taking pain medication. And I had a fever, a high fever, and I had a very bad cold. So I was put on antibiotics. Not fun. Baby, it was so healthy. He was so good. I mean, he's so good now. He's so healthy now. I thank God every day that they were there, helped him, protected him. So as you know, when I say that previously, they gave me steroid shots for his lungs. Yes, the steroid shots did help his lungs. I got 4 doses. Usually they only give you 2 doses. They have to give you 2 doses, so you get one, and when you go, and then 24 hours later you get another. So I got 4 doses, and if you don't know why they give you steroid shots for your baby's lungs when you're gonna go into preterm labor or stuff like that, stuff that could cause it, please look it up. because I really don't know why. So please look it up. Um, and then they gave me magnesium when I was there the first time. Um, and that magnesium is the worst. The magnesium is the hell of a god, the worst. It is the worst. Like, it is bad. And if you don't know why they give that, please look it up. Because I don't understand why they give that either. I'm kind of like dumb. And do not make fun of me. Okay? But that all helped. It all paid off. I thank God. Um, and the baby is now very, very healthy. No health issues, no health problems. Just his lungs. He can't breathe on his own, and he can't eat on his own yet. That's basically the problem. And he's in the NICU. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. The NICU. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. He's there because he was premature, born at 30 weeks. And yes, when I was getting my ultrasounds every week, my doctor had high risk doctor had predicted I would have the baby around 30 weeks or 31 weeks. He was right. I had baby at 30 weeks. Oh my God. I'm lucky every day because I found out my short cervix at 22 weeks, 23 weeks, that I had a short cervix. I lasted the 30 weeks, and I thank God every day that I did, because if baby was born before that, he would have had serious problems and probably would have died. And that scares me because, like, when I was staying in the hospital, you know, my previous videos, before I had baby, um, the nurse practitioner that works with the babies in the NICU came in and talked to me and said there was a very low chance of baby surviving, and I cried my eyes out. And look now, he survived. I thank God every day he survived. Like, literally, I thank God every day that they were there and they made my son survive. Anyways, so, uh, baby, like, literally, like, he's so healthy. He's growing. He's so cute. Um, but he's having a lot of problems breathing. So, and that's normal for premature babies to have problems like breathing. So they've had to give him caffeine. And if you don't know why they give babies caffeine for breathing, please look it up. Um, they've upped the dosage. And then he is anemic, so he has low red blood cells, which I found that out today. So they're giving him iron, and let me put it this way, I'm anemic, so I take iron too. So look, son like mother. Really weird. And then he's on vitamin D. Yeah. Um, and he's gained more weight. He's now 4 pounds 3 ounces. He's a little cutie. He got that bubble like mask off, like the big old mask that had like the hat thing on. He just has a little like ones in his nose that goes around, and so now you can see his beautiful, handsome face. Let me show you something on my phone. Um, okay, let me show you something. So this is what it is. I don't know if you can see this. Hold on, let me turn my brightness down on my phone, just because then you'll be able to, I think, probably see it better. Let me turn it down just a little more. That's him. He's so cute, and that's the breathing thing, and then that's the feeding. So right here is the feeding tube that goes down his throat, and then right there is the breathing tube that he got changed to. And then I'll show you the one that he had before that, before he got changed to that. This is the one he had before. That's the one he had before, and then now he's on this one. But he's really, really cute, really beautiful. I don't know why I say beautiful. He's really handsome. He's being more aware of his surroundings. Um, he smiles at mama now. At me, I love being a mom. Like I wouldn't ask for anything better. I mean, I thank God every day he's alive and healthy, and I thank God that God has given me this blessing to be a mom, and it is a blessing to be a mom. And I thank God that he's alive, that he didn't anything didn't happen, and that he has no health issues. Um, but I'm starting to put clothes on him, and he looks so cute and handsome. Um, and yes, I go to the NICU every day from 10 to 10, like I was telling you. Um, and I hold him twice while he's getting fed. Usually the babies in the NICU, when they're on the feeding tube, get fed for 45 minutes. But because a couple times he wasn't tolerating his food right, and he was like throwing it up, which is sometimes normal for preemies, like I said, um, he um, It got up, it got moved up to an hour. So I hold him, and he loves being held by mama. He loves it. He smiles. He loves it. He falls asleep in the cutest positions. Um, and then his nails are growing really long, like getting really, really long. And he likes to scratch me, and I don't like it. And so I put beanies on him. He also is starting to want to pull out his tubing. He tries to pull them out. He's a little stinker. Um, and then he is a pooper. I mean, a pooper. So so basically like twice, you know how I told you guys about doing cares? Well, basically 2 times out of like all the cares, like twice a day, when I'm changing his diaper, he'll have massive poop explosions while I'm changing his diaper. Like I'll put another diaper under there, like the new diaper, and as I put it under there, I'll lift his legs up to wipe his butt, and I'll wipe his butt, and then more poop will come out. And I see it running down his ass. I see it coming out. And then it continues, and I'll go through 5 diapers, 4 or 5 diapers before it finally stops. He is a pooper. He loves to poop. And then yesterday, I was changing his diaper, and I saw pee come out of his pee pee. Mom problems. But I love being a mom. It's a blessing. Um, and I love my son. He's my pride and joy. Um, he likes to look at mommy. And yeah, so that's my labor and delivery story. I don't know if I missed anything. Probably I did. But I don't know. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below. Turn on my post notifications. And subscribe. And we'll see you next video. Peace. Bye.